something. Then I let you to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Stop sharing. Okay. Okay. You can go back to yours. Okay. Yeah, 2:15. Yeah, but we are waiting for the student, then I can help you to keep on fixing it. Okay. So what's the next step? We need to modify the your API server route, right? This one is called the API, the server route. So depends on which one you want to. Okay, you also create one. It's the CSCI 422. So if you want to after you this one you are using the okay, you also using the in text, right? Okay, text. But if you know we are using the collection, so create a collection. So just in case, like you're using a CSCI, right now you already we use the CSCI, and then we need to create a new collection. So new collection comment is called the DB create collection, and then give a name. So let's say you can use like lab 1, lab 2, testing, wherever, any name. Okay, yeah, testing. Okay, you agree, create. And this one is the new collection. So this collection that you can use like DB testing dot insert one. And then yeah, just put all the data name. Yeah, just follow the same format.
All right.
Right here. Okay. So what do you need to do? Keep going. So you can quit because you are already finished. Okay. So pick the file you want to work on. Like because maybe based on this one, because we are like trying to build on more stuff on the like default. So you can refer to my like latest one with the MongoDB, that one, the API with the MongoDB, maybe week 5 API server. You can download it and check.
Let's see. Is this this looks all right. Looks right,
Okay.
I think.
And you can modify, you can change the file and then also change to change like that one, the collection testing and localhost review. Yeah, the DB is correct. You are using CSCI 422, so you can use
Right.
it. And then the collection you are using testing. You name it
Okay, I see.
testing.
Okay, and then let's see. Am I supposed to
I will recommend you under SRV. So or like anyway you want, just like make sure, because you are okay, and you just need to modify this one. So
is
you
it just replace it, right?
yeah, we replace it, yeah. If you don't want to like deleting in this way, actually you can just like remove this file and then create a new index.js.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we could just kind of let it go.
Okay. And right here, you will see we require, that means we import to Node.js. You can place it and then let me item, we have API get items and then, okay. Okay, so right here, we require 2 modules, right?
Right.
Okay, you can save it first.
Okay, do I exit too?
Yeah, you need to exit. Okay, and right here, actually, you can see it's empty, right? Nothing. we don't have modules, we don't have it. So you need to install 2 modules.
Okay.
So guess which 2 modules we need to install.
Is it npm?
npm is the Node.js help us to install. So look at the
Right.
required, like look at the source code. You go back to the source code and
Oh, I
look at
see. Oh
look
yeah,
at the top.
MongoDB
Which
and
2 we
yeah,
require?
happy MongoDB.
Yes, these 2.
Okay. So do I need to install those with npm?
Yes, we are using npm
I
install.
thought I already had them installed. Let me
Let me get to the, so I can show you, give you the code. Okay. You install the happy, and then one more we need to install. Actually, you can do it as a one single command line. But there's
yeah.
no, there's no others joining. Okay, so you already installed the 2 requirements. So right now you can start your server.
Okay.
Just using no.
What is this?
Okay, let's see. Using use undefined topology, a depreciate option. Okay, use the defined topology. Yeah, some topology is using, but we can check. Okay, and but the server is running right now, so we can see. Okay, and slash, if you remember the path, get items. Okay, sample.
Yeah, that's what we put in.
Okay, yeah, sample. Okay, so it works.
Sweet. And so this doesn't matter?
It says some topology it's like depreciate. So maybe the something work on it. So
I
version
see.
4.00 is the chase warning. I want to see the warning. Okay. There's a major version. Okay. So let me see. It won't really happen, but it's not just like quit it. Okay. Exit. Okay. This one is showing the version difference, so it won't affect your source code. So like
Okay,
once we can connect it, but it's fine. So we can fix it. This one that won't affect the things executing, but just mainly because the version difference. Some topology is not using depreciate.
gotcha.
Okay, yeah. So so far if you like go to this step, you are already able to finish like what I'm telling, like for the lab. That's what you need to do until now.
For the second lab, for the assignment
The
two?
week 5 until week for the second lab, if you see the description, okay. So right here you will see, yeah. So you just need to modify. I asked you, so you already able to
I see.
connect to the API server, connect to the MongoDB. So you mainly in the step 3.
So I'm just basically redoing this, but with these instructions.
Yes. So you will see here I will actually I want to talk about, but I think only you are in this class. I feel like why nobody until
I
now.
don't know.
Okay. Okay, I will upload this
Oh,
video. So
Sam,
if in
Sam
case they
joined.
miss it, I will still they can able to check it. So okay.
Okay,
So for this API, because you already follow the steps, because I'm recording, so I will repeat what I'm saying in the first part.
okay.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me close something here. Give me a second. We're already 15 minutes, so no matter how, we still need to start. Let me share my screen and I will go through with you. You're able to see my screen right now, right? Okay, there's one more. Okay,
Yes.
so I will talk about the assignment I post. If you are able to follow the previous lab and other steps, then you should able like install the happy.js and the MongoDB, and then based on the required the MongoDB file. So right here, let me show you the API server. Okay, so here's a sample code you can use and you can follow. And what I'm asking you will be like step 3. So we need to implement like 3 get routes and then 3 post routes. So let's say you can like here's the guideline. You can choose any topic you want. Like let's say if you want like let's say books, movie, whatever, any items you want to. And then try to build the put the attributes and value. So you can just put at least 1, like maybe like 3 or 5, then you can test it. And then you need to test like get all the items selected by ID or like some specific field. Like you can choose by maybe author or anything. But I didn't tell you like how to actually for today's lab, I will cover about how to like getting the parameter, getting the ID. So right now when we put a slash like this one, and then we'll get all the items, right? Then how can we pass it with the parameters? Or when we post the content, how can I add a new item or like add multiple and then like upload as an array? Then as an example. So you can do the adding this. Okay. And you can like maybe I didn't really cover everything the content. So for the assignment, because I won't like telling you all the answer solution, so I let you to figure out how to do that. Just refer to the like happy.js document, or like you can Stack Overflow and search for it, because the happy JS and MongoDB, they are really common popular in the community. So you should able to find all those like example or some guideline to do it. So you can like study, self-study, search it for a bit. So for this assignment, the thing, are you okay with this question? Do you have any question about the assignment, to the assignment?
I think I understand it for the most part.
Mhm.
Could you go through like an example of just doing one of the first Git routes?
Okay. Let's say I get all the items. It's like you actually for the first one, just like this. So you can put the name. I say I want to say get all items, right? Then but I didn't like limit you, so what's the name? So I can say like get all items like this. And
Right.
I just need to modify, because for this one, I just like retrieve all the everything from my collection. So I using like items and then collection find. Find them is like didn't pass any filter. If I didn't pass any filter, so I would get all the content. So put it as a to array and return the items. And I didn't access to the server. So, but when you're doing in this way, or I think I'm running it under my background. So I need to check if I have the domain. Let me see. I need to get my domain. I didn't okay, I didn't have it, but if you change the name, actually the first one is the example for the first route. For your first route, just is the same as the same example. But for the second one, let's say get the next one. That's what I'm going to cover in the lecture for today. They say I
So,
want to get item.
so the items are the documents, so is that the idea is, so,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah, so this is the idea. I say the document, that means the records.
I see.
Yeah. So like all the contents, like record, you can say it's a record, it's a row, or whatever, any name. Just like mainly just like it's the data for you,
Right.
like stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of like the first one, and then the post new item right here. Just you can reuse the sample code I gave you. Okay, just like
Okay.
remember to set up the route. And for those, like actually I'm asking if you are able to connect using the AWS. So you should able using your domain, but you already make it. So you just need to modify the index.js file. Then you are able to retrieve all this data and then submit your source code, and also let me make a screenshot. How can you interact, like showing with the
Okay.
Also I give you in the example, when you try to post it, you cannot do it. And actually I have one more HTML you can follow is for posting. Okay. Let me see if you're able to retrieve it. So because we are talking about assignment, so actually I give you the sample code. You can for the testing. If you want, you can also use my example example code I provide to you. So this one I will like have a button, try to retrieve the data and then pop it out. Like you can use this one if you looks like one, like looks more like fancy. So if you remember the hello world, like the index.html, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can replace this one, and then you can use it as like
Is that
text.
in the D2L?
Yeah, so let me see. Okay, maybe I didn't upload it. Okay, let me. I need to change to text file. Otherwise, it just show up as the text file. Okay, let me upload it to the D2L so you are able to get it. Okay, right here is an example. Okay. This one is the extra because I will, when I teach in cover, so you can use it. Okay. Just like if you follow my sample code, you should able finish one and for the get and one for the new item. Then for the rest, you just search it and follow my lecture notes. Okay. So we will stop talking about the assignment in this moment. If you still have questions, then I give you like still have time. So in this lecture, like for coming week, you should able to finish all the route. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're good, then we will move on to about today's lecture right here. Okay. 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 And before you already have a basic understanding like how Happy.js using this, how the like API server like executing. Then it's a common, like it's not only Happy.js, but also it apply to all different like API server. It's like a structured method. We have the get, post, put, and delete. And for Happy.js, we have our own way to define it. So we have the path is for the URL endpoint, and then we have the handler. like to define the function going to execute. Okay, so we need to know for most of the time for the methods get is that we try to retrieve the data, post is to create a new resource, and then put update existing, delete is remove resource. For learning a terms like all this word we need to know, like it's a definition. But in real world application, sometimes we are really barely remove. Or sometimes if we say it's remove, we just like put it in new state. Like let's say it's available, not available. Because in the database, we are not, because like for business, like this one is not really talk about cloud computing, but like in real world operation, we try not to delete any data we collect. So that's why even users say, I'm going to delete it, they just like kind of like put it in another stage. Not going to retrieve it. That's it. Sometimes we say put, or like you can still using post, and then change the MongoDB command line to update the so sometimes we say put, but we don't have to really using put, but we can use post too, and then just update the content or replace the original one. Okay. This one is like it just like practically it's doing, but you just need to know the route. If you still remember, here's the example. We are using the server route and using the method. So we can define the method get right here, and then we set the path. So the path, like this one is using item, but really depends how we really like implement. If we refer to the API server we are using last time, here's like the whole structure like the API server, but we go to deep, like only look at the Happy.js structure syntax. So we're using server.route. So we define the method get and then set the path. Here you will see I'm using the API / like API and then with the route name. So here the path. So API is like when we working with the Nginx. So if you know the Nginx server block, I changed the localhost 3000. That one is under location / API. So because I want to use the same domain name to handle everything. So that's how it looks like. Of course, you can change the name based on your structure, like how you build your server, or like even your how do you set up the Nginx server block. So you need to change this one. Okay. And for the handler, we have the handler, we have the request and head. And this one is the default set up by the Happy.js, like it's a format. This one we didn't pass anything, so we just like get the constant item, return it. So we can return the value. This one is like return as the array, and we can use as a variable, like the items. So it still is the array type. So array and it's a JSON format. So when you receive the data from the API server, maybe you need to know if you're writing a client application. So you need to know, okay, so I need to deal with the array first. Maybe I'm using a loop and then I'm checking the first item, and then maybe I have an ID, I have a name, or like I have a status, cost, success, fail, whatever, any name. You can handle it. Okay. And also sometimes right here we have called the like request the payload. Payload is the post. So post method, this one just like I give you, okay, when I get it, I just return this ID, and then this one is the own define. So this one without the array. So when you dot name, you will get the payload name. Okay. And here's one of example, and then one more. And here you see I put the curly bracket right here, and then put the ID. Then what do we handle is called the request parameter ID. So when we post it, if I say then this one is showing you like how to work with, like, let's say I want to create with the parameters, right? So let's say I want to get a specific, I change the name, get all items. So I just return everything. But this one I will pass, I want to get a specific item. with the ID, with a name, it doesn't matter. So I say, okay, constant, and then ID equals to request dot parameters, and then dot ID. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So you need to do I just let you to do that. Then once you pass the ID for the collection to find it, then you need to modify the MongoDB to the database. Then you are able to like retrieve it. So that's what you need to do for your assignment. But I try not to like tell you all the solution. So you need to figure out how can you do that. Okay.
Okay.
And then this is the format when how we get past the ID. So for the post, we have the payload. So you will see the payload right here. We are using request payload for the post. So if you want to update the content, insert the value, try to check the payload. Okay. If you say, I don't know what I'm exactly post or like for debugging, you can do one way is that you can use like called the console.log and then log your like request payload like this. Then you will know what did you upload to the server. Sometimes you say, okay, I try to upload the format like this, but why I always receive the like internal error like error code like 500, then you can use this way to debugging. So first you check, am I upload the correct or post the correct data to the server? If yes, that means like maybe my MongoDB syntax or somehow is a mistake. I make something wrong. So you can like do it debugging layer by layer. Okay. And another handle method we are going to use right here. Sometimes we can like set the like default reply with the response code like this one like 204 if we want to like delete. Sometimes I want to make the things like consistent because I don't want to like do like 204. So I will do it like if I can, if you know the syntax, maybe I will, when I return the item, I will always like do it in this way. It's like one of the structure I can recommend to you. So you can say, let's say I want to say maybe I call the data. So I return the items, and then I will say the put a code. Maybe this one is success. Then I'll return like 200 like this, or like anything. So when you working with the server and your client, then you define the format. So when I using it as the just like using it as an example, let me put it. Okay, let's say if I already fetch the data like this, I already execute fetch the data. Let's say land data or like response equals to fetch like this. Okay, so I'll check if the maybe sometimes check, okay, did I receive something? So if I do, then I will check one more thing. If the RVS dot code is equals to like 200, then I will do something, blah, blah, blah. If no, else, then I will do something else like this. If I didn't receive anything, then I will do something, blah, 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 like this. And also maybe I will assign the data because I want to save it. Then maybe I will say, okay, let data equals to like yes dot data like this. Then I can use the for loop like for d in data like it, blah, 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 like this. So you can do it in this way. So when you try to define or like when you working as a project, you need to define your own structure. So here's only just one of the example you can use. You can modify. So here's the return data, return from the MongoDB. Of course, you can directly return to it, but sometimes you can define. Let's say if you get the try to using the ID, get the ID right. If you didn't receive anything, so of course maybe the item is empty. So if the item's empty, you don't want to return an empty array or like just a null. then you can do it in this way. Like if you can also using if you can check items. So if you do have something, then you can return like this. If no, I just return, maybe I have a code, and then maybe I will say like code would be 400 is empty, and then I put the data would be now like this. Okay. Also, you can define this way. So because right now for the I will create a group after this class. Because we only have like 5 or 6, and maybe we can do it as a 3 different groups. So you can try to like do it like 2 students working together. Maybe when you're working on an API server, if for the request, I will set it up. If you want to say, okay, I'm good, I'm able to finish everything by myself, then you can do it by yourself. If you know that maximum, maybe you can do it like for 2 people as a group, you can do it. Okay. Let me see how many. Okay, because only 2 of you are like inside in the meeting. So I don't know if you are able to handle it, you can do it by your own. So then you can like experience more how to implement the API server. Okay. Let's keep going. And we'll move on just like our lecture. So, and we need to know like for the cloud security. Okay, we need to know when we try to share it, then we need to know the security is like when we talk about the last time about the optic capital one, right? So OSA. So the cloud provider OSA, they provide the infrastructure. So they will like take care more about the security level is infrastructure. But to us, like when we are using AWS like this, then we need to like handle with more like the application level, the security of it. So that's what we need to do. Most commonly, we have the data, the branch, and then what I denial of service, the DOS attacks. Also, sometimes we have the inside the threat too. And how can we use the API server to increase the security? So one thing is called the input validation, and we have some like authentication too. If we need to do the input validation with the joy, so we need to install one more package. So here's the hint. It's like when we need to require one more thing, then we need to install it. So this one is showing you, but when you need to use, then remember using the npm install package to install it. You say, can I use the name directly? Sometimes when the package name, module's name is not different, it's not the same as what you request the name. So we need to refer to the happy.js. So right here, let's say happy.js, and then join right here. So maybe we will have the modules right here, and then we can go to their own. Okay. So right here is okay, it's the same. So we can use the node install and then request it. So we have like preset, and then also it comes with the parameters for it to validate. And then here's the sample, how we going. So we need to add the option. Okay, we can have a schema, we can create right here, like we can have a schema like objects. Like for the name, we need to say for a string, we need to have minimum at least 3. And then when there's a email, then they will help us to check the email format. And if you know what's the SQL injection, sometimes then we need to do it, handle it by us. It's right here, requirement. And also, and if you look at the drawing right here, it's the same, we have the same method, path and handler, right? And if you remember, we have the parameter. The parameter, we pass the name, so request parameter with the name. So this one is just like return the value back. But we have validation to checking. Okay, so we have option, valid, and then parameter. Then we'll check the object, so the name. So because this is the name, right? So the string minimum 3, maximum is 10. So we have one is called a schema, one is called the like within the parameter. So either way will be fine. So if you put it like too short or too long, then you will get the return. So like this one, if we cannot validate, we'll return a message. It's error message and status code. So that's why we try to make the return message like sometimes consistent when we trying to develop an application. Of course, like, or we can put it in a document, say, okay, if we get an error message, you will receive it. Then how can you handle it? Or like we try to make everything consistent. So if I define this as status code, so all the things like called status code like 400, then that's what we are going to do. So I change it like to 400, called the status code like this. Okay. And if we have some like query, we need to like more like validate query, then also we can do it like this one. For the details, we can check it. Also, for the post, also the payload content, they have like the post, and then we have the date. So all these can validate the content. Okay. And here's a mainly one part, and also we have more and more. So if you're interested, you can look at it first. If no, then we can have more time, we will cover. And then like when we have some like use case, then we can cover it. And here's one more example, is like when we try to create the called the schema. So we can use the name schema, and then just like use it like called a schema. So we can have a called a joy array and the items, and then pass the and then, but for this one, and then we can say it's like get box awaiting. So we need to check it. So we have the first action, we can put it in the log, and then the item box schema, we will using the schema box schema, this one, to check all the contents when they post it or something. So here's the structure, like two different type. Use the schema or use the return. Or sometimes if you have the sample like response, you can use this one percentage. So all these we can use, and also the status right here, like 201, 222 content. So we can like have a lot of flexibility to modify the return message, also the return data. Okay. And another one, like sometimes for the authorizing the like if I want to implement the sign in or like log in to certain account, maybe you say, okay, most of the time we just log in using the password, email, account, and then maybe username. But sometimes we are not only using this, but it's like, okay, once I sign in, I'm not required them to like put the things back, or like we using a cookie to save it and then use to access the data. So another one is using the happy cookies. That's what we request it. And then we have some like certain strategy to handle it. So just follow the structure. And then so far you here like pretty common a lot called a session. We have the section ID, so we will belong to like certain user, they have their own section. And then once they are like able to log in, then we will redirect to like certain page, and then or like to the dashboard. So either way is fine. So let's say we have a login, and then we turn to the login page like this, and then keep going. And here's like two example we are going to cover, and also I upload the example source code to you, and then you will see right here. If you are going to use in your project, like for the security, because like for our lecture, we are not only implement it, but also we need to like think about the security, like how to prevent like others for injection, SQL injection, or like to validate their content. If I ask the user to input the name, then I need to make sure it's just a name. They are not like putting some information like other invalid instruction. So sometimes I say SQL injection. Do you know what is SQL injection?
Yes.
Okay, so um Can you explain, or like, can you like tell me
Mm-hmm.
based on your understanding what's SQL injection?
Yeah, it's you basically you're taking advantage of the inputs in
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a web browser or some way you can access the MySQL or SQL Server,
Mm-hmm.
and you're using like an escape character so that you can actually add your own um, input, like inject code or inject a different value to get information from uh, SQL, like the database.
Yes. So but nowadays, like if we handle maybe in the old school way, or like old time, they didn't really handle it. Okay, let's say here's the example. If you look at the screen, I create a page actually for the security. Actually, in the later, I will let you to like to try this one to experience how to do that. So if I ask you to input the name, so if I input, okay, first part I input the name and then with a semicolon and then put the SQL instruction, like let's say drop a table, I drop anything. Okay. So if you didn't handle it, like if you didn't detect it, so it's called a SQL injection. Or like let's say
Mhm.
if input the name and then using like sled or a filter, then I will able to access all your content. Like if I want to destroy your server, I just need to include. But when your API, also maybe your database system, like let's say MongoDB or MySQL, they don't know how to handle this part. Then they will execute. Like first they will like input the name, and then they will execute another SQL query. So it drop the table, create a new folder or whatever, new table. So he's got a SQL injection. So when we try to validate the content, so that's what we need to do, like the range or some like we using the regular expression. So we will pretty common using the regular expression to detect it. So do you know what's the regular expression?
Yeah, I think we just talked about it in system security.
Mhm.
I forget what it I forget what it is
Okay.
exactly.
But regular expression is like checking maybe we have like bunch of text, then we need to define the structure. So but this one is not mainly I'm not really cover, but it's a one of the two or like techniques or skills like we are using a lot for software developer, and like to detect the text and then like get some parameter. But because we are not mainly we need to use it as some like go through it, but we are not really focused on this part. So maybe you need to study a little bit of it if you need to use it. Okay.
Mhm.
And yeah, so right here, we can detect the content, so it can help us to like prevent like for the SQL injection or like some other invader comment or like invader input. So would be like this. And when we keep going, so for the advanced security measures, we can be like we can have like some API security like best practice. Also, we can try to encrypt or like provide some data protection. So first one we are always using is like called the HTTPS. That's what did we do like before in the lecture, like I'm showing you using the server to install it to get it, or like for the company, like organization, they are well organized. They will purchase or like using the factor buying their own certificate. So they will have all their like company information. So that one is like guaranteed. When I access to this website, I know this one is like under like certain organizations validation. They know this one is the trustable. Okay. Or we can implement something like called the rate and limiting or like validate the user input. This is what we're going to do to increase the security. And another one will be called a JWT. So that one will be like called a JSON Web Token for the secure API communication. So we also need to install. So this one also comes with the Happy's no modules. You will see, like I mentioned all these things, why not just let you to know, and then later, like in the lab, then I will try to put all these things together. Also, I want to let you have some like experience that really integrate, because in the previous lab I tried to like give you all the sample code, you just like need to copy and paste, then you are able to execute. But for coming, like, because we almost like 1 or 6 week, so I want to have more like practice and learning how to, if I give you some information, or like I tell you what are we going to use, then how can you do that, or how can you integrate those things to your original source code? I will spend some time to help you to like go through later, or like if you have a questions, anyone, if you have a question, then we can like share, and then others can see it, then you know, okay, how can we fix it? So if you like this way, then I would prefer to do in this. If you know, just want me to like show you how to do that, and then you can try later, then just let me know like after this way. Okay, so here, like, just like use the npm install the happy JWT, then we can able to install this one. And then the expand pull code will be like this. So we still need to like request it, and then we have the strategy. So let's say we get a key, just like get some like secret key, and then when we validate it, there's a then we turn, okay, it's valid. So we can add any valid. Once it's valid, also I can return a status code, anything to the return. Okay. And here's the example. When we request it, we will do the same again. And then maybe here's the part called the protected. So you see here's a protected route. Okay. Here's the same, the route, but what's the following up? So we will get one more option. You will see the options. We can use like the schema to check the content, validate. Also, we have once authorize it. Also, we have the called a section for login. So why not we call the like the JWT will protect this endpoint. And I also like upload the all the whole source code, like what the endpoint is doing. It will be right here. So it's a pretty short code. So you can try to edit. So it's the key to protect. So it's an automatic like encrypt with the own key. So right here will be all the code we need to go through, and then we only I only have 2 of you, and I already helped you to fix your problem. How about Sam? Do you have any question about like setting up the API server or like MongoDB? Do you have any problem?
Not so far.
Okay, so if so far if you don't have any problem, then I will go back to the document. So I will upload, but it's just only part of it. So I just like want you to, if you want to know how to set it up, so you can like refer to those source code and modify and add it to your because for the assignment too, you're not required to do that. But for your coming project, for the project, I will post it maybe after the Wednesday class. So mainly just like you can choose any topic, and I would tell like I'm not yet posted, but I will just let you know the like you can choose any topic is same. So you can create a database using the MongoDB. And after this, you can create a page like this and then list all the command lines. Like how can I test the like get API? When I click the value, you should able to return it. Because like for the cloud computing, but I don't want to overlap with the like web programming too much. So you just like need to create with the simple HTML page, or like you can copy mine and then just like list all the command list right here, or even you can use the API server like to list it, like what are the route going to what kind of like route do you have for testing? So you can list it right here, and then I can choose it video. Do you know how to create a simple web page?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you know how to create a HTML page?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just like using the sample code, that one, or because for my web programming, I teaching students like let them to using React.js to build it, right? Of course, yes, I do have lots of time. I want to use it to build a really nice testing page. Yes, you can do that. But because it's
Me,
not like
me and Sam actually have pretty good web programming experience. We've taken the class and we
mhm.
both have experience.
Okay. If you are able to do that, then I'm welcome. You can do it and then just create a page like this. As a minimum, I just give you the same, like just like kind of like the sample, the template you can use. So you can do it in this way and then modify it. So we can test the API. So that's what you need to do. I recommend like as a beginning for your because for your assignment too, you are not required to do it, but if you have enough time, because actually for the assignment, actually you just need to implement like 3 get route and then 3 posts. Actually you can finish pretty quick, so you can spend some time to work on this and then you can show the page like testing, get the value and then pop it out. I will like really welcome if you are doing in this way. And for the group project, you can choose like any topic, right? Choose it, and we will including all these like security things right here. And also we will do some testing if I like input some invalid content, or like maybe have one of the demo one required maybe is the login. So how can I use the authorization to check it? Right here, if we go to the document, so because I just like go through really quick and just let you really know what can we use. So here's the example. Like sometimes we are try to log in, mainly we are not passing it through the API. So when you ask the question, okay, can I just use the method, let's say using get, like as a get method to log in. Let's say if I do it in this way, let's say we are doing in this way. Some space. Okay, let's say I call API login. Maybe I say, and this one is called user name, and then I will pass one more called the password like this, and then I got a request. This example like username, and then a request called the username, and then we have the like what is here, the request. Got the password like this. Or sometimes like we'll pass it as an array, like maybe here's the type and then one more like slash slash, or we have got the I2 ID times 2 ID, and like this ID 2, and then maybe we have the ID dot like 01, and then like this. Okay. For this detail, we will go through like talk more about the parameter, how can you say and study it. And once you pass it, I just okay, if I can do it in this way, because for this way, when we pass, then we will pass the password name and then the password like through the URL, the link. So it will be like this. So maybe it's easier to hack, or like people like as in the middleman, they can retrieve your data. So sometimes we are using post more, like using post like under payload, we are like encrypt, so people cannot see directly through that link. Because if you pass this one, it's like under slash get and then other things, but payload is like included. So we need to at least like one more layer to retrieve the data. So right here we have different like strategy, and this one the cookie like is the password like as a default. You see the name and password, they will match it. And we see the validate right here. Okay, let's say we already define as an example is called a user. So the user have like username, password, and then all these like IDs. Okay, so when we try to validate, we'll get it from the array, the username, and then check it, save a user. Okay, if there's nothing, then we just return, okay, nothing. And then if we keep going and then try to compare it, that's what we get, and then return is valid. Yes, then I will return a value. So you see, in the beginning, we will return as the JSON file. First is the valid, is true or false, and then we need to JSON maybe give a name right here. When we try to keep on working on it, then maybe the server, when we execute, let's say we're using get method, and we will like have a strategy like assign, and then maybe we can get an option. So right here, even we are using a get method like sign in, then we will match it right here. But for this one, it didn't handle with the like passing the value to the server, also connect to the MongoDB. But this one is just like testing, like using the local default to get file. So maybe when we retrieve it or match with the server and then try to validate it. That's what we need to do. This one just an example. So you need to modify it. It cannot use directly. Okay. Or sometimes return is like maybe in our server or like in our web page, we are not really telling what is the actual endpoint. Endpoint is one of the ways that, okay, on the website, maybe you will see if you put the domain like this, and then if you, after you log in or like the first page, always the login, but when you change your endpoint, you have different name. So you want to let the people know, or if you don't want to let the hacker, like sometimes like using /admin, pretty common. Let's say we are using is like with the domain and /admin. So when the hacker may say, okay, let me put the admin and then do some like injection using the input tag field, then they will easily do that. Then maybe you will like using different page, or that we can redirect to a certain location. So then you can use the return. So the API server have a right to that. And when we combine, like one is the authorizing, so another one is like using cookie. So we can see when we try to import the cookie, it's the same password and secure, and then login. So here is like once you will see we have the session ID. So when we match, so let's say we have somebody try to match, so we will find it, okay, if the user, so when we get the user's ID, here's a function of a parameter. So once the user, the ID match the session ID, that means, okay, this person is already logged in, then they can keep on doing something. Why we are using the session ID and using ID or doing in this way is once the user log in, maybe the cookie will say, okay, for this user have the session ID like this, then they want to, let's say, retrieve their account information. They don't have to log in again, or like if they want to check like maybe there's some like order information, then also we can use the like match their session ID to their user ID. Maybe session ID is not the same. We just save the session ID. And when we retrieve the user, maybe we need to use their name or specific key to do that. Then we can connect to the MongoDB and then retrieve it and return it. So that's how we handle in the API level. First, we check the using session ID, using a cookies like to check, okay, I know is this user. So once I know this user, then I try to get this user's information like from the MongoDB or the MySQL database. That's how we do it. And once you're able to do it, then you can just like return what the information they request for. So you can see override default the session. So we just using default, it's okay. And for the login, you see, this one is like just they put the HTML page as a one page. So we return it right here for the key. So here's an example showing you doing in this way, but we always not recommend to put the code in this page unless you have any specific function you really need to return it, the content in this way, then you can try to do that. But normally we are not like recommend, because this one even is just a sample code, but like for better practice, then like for the better code, like better code syntax, like structure, I'm not recommend to doing this way. And then for the post, you will see like we still have a synchronized function, and then we will get the from the payload. So after payload, we have a user and password name, and then we try to find it. So this one finds the user with the declare in the global. This one, it didn't connect to the MongoDB or the MySQL database, but we need to do it by our own. We need to pass it and find it, return it. Okay. Also, we will check with the key. So the bcrypt. So we'll be like checking it, compare it. So yes, then we will redirect it to certain page. And also we will set the cookie with the, like maybe they are using the account ID. So there's a whole structure like for using the, like for the login or like section key encryption. So that's how it works. So you can experience to add it in practical, and next time that's what we're going to do in like in the class later. And just right now, just let you have a like rough understanding, like brief idea how to use this part. And do you have any question about this one?
No, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, if no, then you can try to work on your assignment, and then I would highly recommend you can try to work on these things and start to think about what's the project. I would create a group, or like you can let me know like if you want to do it by yourself, or like you can form a group as a tool. But as once you have a group, then I would recommend, or like I would expecting like you can build a API server in more like looks more fancy or advanced level. But as a requirement, like we
Okay.
need to like for authorization and also like cookie section. Because like when we are implementing a website, nowadays, most of the time we require to have an account, user account, right? Logged in. So at least you should able, because in this class, like as what like just repeating, but just what I said, because you are not really developing a website, and like not, it's not web programming, so I'm not really like teaching how to do that. But if you need to help on the website how to build it, yes, I will give you some sample code, you can do it. Just like regular HTML page, you can do it. So you just like showing you are able to like when you're working with the API server, how can you do the redirection and do the page, then it's good enough. But if you're using like React.js, Vue.js, AngularJS, whatever, like any language, you've been using a Python to build a web page, you're okay.
I
I'm not limited, or like say you only allowed to do it in this way. Because for our class, we like mainly is handle the cloud, is the API server handle, like connect with the database. But it's part of it. We need to always like working with the website, or like if you want, you can also build a sample like cell phone client. Because when like teaching like for React.js, one is for the website, also there's called a native React. So you can use it to build the iPhone and like iOS and the Android app. So you can still do it. So once you have the API server, then no matter which type of client, like desktop, maybe some like cell phone, also any others like service, you can connect to the request from the API server. Okay, and that's it for today's class. If you have
uh
questions, you can ask me. If no, then it will be.
I did have an idea
Mhm,
for a project which would, I don't know if it would be okay, but
mhm,
um I wanted to make a like a resume portfolio hosted, not like website, but
mhm,
since it's not web programming, I could probably adjust it and make it like more of a web app,
mhm.
um and see if that, and I just would want to like make sure that it's secure and stuff so that I could host like my a
Yeah.
resume on it or something.
When you say, yeah, because I'm not saying it's a web programming, so I don't have really like high requirements that you have to make your resume. I can recommend you can do in this way as a homepage, like kind of homepage when you put your domain, right, your URL.
Yeah.
So when people type it, then you will see all your maybe your resume that you can put some information. What did you do? Like maybe you can put some. Actually, it's a good example if you want to looking for a job. They see, okay, you're able to build a website, and then you're showing
Yeah,
like maybe your API something. They will say, okay, it's a good example for them. They say, okay, you're able to do all these things. So it's good.
yeah, that
And then
would be
maybe you
cool.
can create called an admin or like something login. So that one you can help you to modify your content.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, so you can create that one, another simple page. Let's say if you want to, how can you add one? Because you need to think, one is like showing to everyone. Then how can you modify? Do you want to do it in the because you need to create the API server? You can do it in this way. I have a website only getting the information. But when I post the data, I just use the command line or like I create another platform, whatever you can do. But I will recommend, because for testing, I recommend using the web page. It's easy because you need to like have submitting as a homework, right? Assignment or group project.
yeah,
So you should able to test, like let's say you have a get method or like post method. As a syllabus, I ask you like you need to using put and delete, but like in real application, I'm not recommend, or like you don't have to using put or delete. We barely use that. So
okay,
yeah, so you can like have a page and sorry. And when you're doing in this way, then you can update your web page content. So
gotcha.
you can
Okay,
think
that
about
makes
like
sense.
which way will be better to like update. You need to think about how to update. Of course, after you create the
Right.
API, then you are
Hmm.
able to update the content. But like you want to create a UI, like the web page to help you to modify, then it will be easier.
Right.
Yeah, so
Like,
you can think about this one.
do I want it to just host a document or do I want it to be like right, I see. Okay,
Yeah. Also because it can be your kind of like your resume, your personal resume that you say, okay, I
right.
create my web page, but you only because when people
But
look at
also
it, okay, you
demonstrate the
only can see
skills,
the
right? Hmm.
content. Then but you telling others, okay, actually I have a page, like I create a admin page. It's like help me to modify the content. They say, okay, you know how to create, or they say, I have a button, video, adding a new record, and then like this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah,
And if you, yeah, can try to
sounds
do that.
good.
Okay,
All right.
and that's it for today's class.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one, Professor.
Okay, have a good one. Bye.
Oh.